Okay, so when you think about those huge, game-changing moments in sci-fi, Operation British and Gundam, the origin, it really stands out. January, you see 0079.
Oh, absolutely. It's part of the one-week battle right at the start of the one-year war. And the core idea is just chillin'.
It really is. We're doing a deep dive today into Operation British, specifically how it's shown in the origin, the manga, the OVAs, Advent of the Red Comet. It's different from the 79 show.
Right, and the premise is horrifying. Zeon takes a whole space colony, Side Two's Island Iffish, and turns it into a weapon of mass destruction aimed at Earth.
The result, it's almost unthinkable. Roughly half the population of Earth wiped out. Not just from the impact, but the tsunamis, the climate shifts, everything.
Just catastrophic. So our goal here is to unpack that, look at the lead up, how they actually executed the colony drop and the fallout within the Origins continuity. How did things even get to that point?
Well, the tension between the Earth Federation and Zeon, it had been building for ages. You have things like the Dawn Rebellion sort of simmering.
Right, those earlier conflicts.
Exactly. Then January 3rd, UC0079, Zeon declares independence. War starts. And a big piece here is Side 2, called Hatte. They were very much pro-Federation.
And that made them a target. Gihren Zabi, who really masterminded Operation British, saw this as, well, partly punishment for Side 2, but also a terror tactic.
A way to break Federation morale.
Yeah, break morale and, crucially, hit their command center. The specific target was the Federation headquarters buried deep underground at Jaburo, South America.
And the cruelty of it. Zeon says they're fighting for space noids, right? But then they target a colony, gas its people, and weaponize their home.
It's a profound hypocrisy. The first step was the actual attack on Side 2. Zeon deployed mobile suits commanded initially by Ramba.
And those mobile suits were just devastating against conventional forces at the time.
Totally. They overwhelmed the Hatte Defense Force pretty quickly. Most colonies in Side 2 were captured or destroyed, but Island Iffish, the capital colony, they kept that one largely intact.
Because that was the projectile they needed. What happened to the people inside?
That's the darkest part. They used GG gas, a highly lethal nerve agent pumped into the colony, wiped out the entire civilian population. The Origin anime has that really harrowing side story with Yuki and Fangli showing the human cost.
Just awful.
Yeah.
Okay, so the colony's empty. Then what?
Then the technical prep. They coated the colony's windows with a heat-resistant layer for atmospheric entry and bolted on these massive external engines, basically giant thrusters, to push it out of its stable orbit at Lagrange point 4.
And this is where Ramba draws the line, isn't it?
It is. He refused the order to initiate the drop, called it barbaric, utterly inhumane. He got demoted for that refusal.
So Dozle Zabi, Giren's brother, takes over direct command. The Origin does give him a bit more complexity here, showing him burdened by it, especially after his daughter Minerva is born around this time.
Right, there's a sense of tragic duty, perhaps. So January 10th, they fire up those engines. Island Iffish starts its fall towards Earth.
And the Federation sees it coming.
They do. Vice Admiral Tianum's fleet detects it and throws everything they have at it, trying to destroy it in space. It's depicted as a desperate, chaotic battle.
And they didn't manage to stop it, obviously, but
Yeah.
did they damage it? There's talk of nukes maybe being used.
It seems likely they did damage it, yes. Whether nukes were officially used is debated, but the Federation's interception efforts, combined with the stress of the engines, probably destabilized the colony structure.
So January 16th, it hits the atmosphere.
And it breaks apart. Due to the damage, the atmospheric friction, it fragments into roughly 3 massive chunks.
Missing the primary target, Jaburo.
Missing Jaburo, yes. But the impacts were scattered and utterly devastating anyway. One piece hit near Sydney, Australia, wiping it out. Another scattered debris across Canada and North America. The third hit the Pacific, causing enormous tsunamis that ravaged East Asia.
And that's how you get to nearly half the planet's population killed. Unbelievable destruction.
And the terrible irony, as you said, is that by breaking it up, the Federation might have actually spread the destruction wider than a single contained impact at Jaburo would have caused, though maybe fewer died than if it had hit perfectly. It's grim either way.
What were the immediate consequences politically? Did it break the Federation?
Quite the opposite, actually. It hardened their resolve. Any thought of a quick negotiated peace was gone. This cemented the idea that Zeon had to be stopped, whatever the cost.
And within Zeon?
Gihren Zabi, the father, was reportedly furious with Gihren. It deepened the rift between them, the sort of ideological versus purely pragmatic, ruthless approach.
And this leads towards the Battle of Loom.
Exactly. Admiral Rebel managed to regroup the surviving Federation forces, setting the stage for that next major confrontation. But maybe the biggest long-term consequence of Operation British.
The Antarctic Treaty.
Precisely. That horror directly led to the treaty banning NBC weapons, nuclear, biological, chemical, like the GG gas, and, crucially, banning colony drops. It set rules of engagement, trying to prevent this specific atrocity from ever happening again.
So strategically, Operation British was, well, a failure for Zeon. It didn't achieve its primary goal, it strengthened enemy resolve, and it led to rules restricting their future superweapon use.
Pretty much, yeah, a tactical catastrophe with immense human cost, but a strategic own goal in many ways.
So, wrapping up, Operation British in the origin is it's laid out as this incredibly detailed, planned atrocity.
Absolutely. From taking side two, the gassing, modifying the colony, the drop itself, and the horrifying widespread impact even these are missing Jaburo. The sheer scale is central to the origins depiction.
And it's so significant for the narrative. Defines the war's brutality, steals the Federation, causes fractures in Zeon's leadership, and directly results in the Antarctic Treaty. It shapes everything that comes after.
Which leaves us with a thought for you, the listener. How does this single cataclysmic act, this weaponization of a home, echo through the rest of the universal century? And maybe more pointedly, looking at our world today, what ethical warnings does Operation British still hold about warfare, technology, and the potential consequences when ambition overrides humanity?